We're at Kings Canyon and Sequoia National Park. We came in through the north entrance to Kings Canyon. We woke up and we left at 4 a.m. to be here. It's Friday, so it's a bit of a long weekend. And first trail we're hitting up is Big Baldy Ridge. But here we're stopping at the Kings Canyon overlook, stretch our legs, finish some drinks, get some energy levels up. Supposed to be here with a buddy of mine, but unfortunately work canceled. But you guys should recognize Kayla and Young back there somewhere on this trip. So we'll talk about the national park, we'll talk about some trails. Let's hit it. Made it to the top of Big Baldy. Let's talk camera settings and photo composition. So, as I'm preparing to take some landscape photos here, your ISO should really be around 100, maybe 50, but it shouldn't be higher than 200. It is pretty bright, minimal clouds in the sky. There's no reason for your ISO to be any higher than that. Aperture, we're shooting landscapes, a bright day, f11 is pretty much a sweet spot unless you're on a crop sensor. We won't get into that here, but something you should look up. As far as shutter speed, I mean, that's really what's gonna help me determine the exposure of the photos. So I know my ISO is gonna be around 100. Aperture, I'm gonna shoot to about 11, which means the ISO, I'm gonna play around at maybe 200, 1/200th of a second. We'll see what that looks like. And we should get some pretty sharp photos. We're also gonna try focusing mid-ground and then the background, because there's nothing really here in our foreground. We're on a cliff, so we don't have much here. We just have kind of the valley, which I would consider the midground, and then the mountains in the back, which are the background. So camera settings, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I'll start to tweak around and play around with it when I bust out my camera. Composition wise, this is where it gets tricky. Whenever I'm out here, I feel like the photos don't do it justice. It's not wide enough, it's not whatever. On days like today where the sun is bright, telephoto lens may come in handy, but there isn't like light puddles or anything that I really want to focus on. And instead what I want to do is try and capture this valley here with the trees and then the mountains at the top. So I'm going to choose a wide angle. I'm going to place this somewhere on the rule of thirds, so maybe on the left hand side or the right hand side. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about here. And this kind of dip valley here. I'm going to try focusing a little bit on that. A lot of green tree over here. I'm gonna avoid this side for a bit, primarily because we're gonna do Little Baldy later and I'll get views this way. And there's also a lot of dead branch and trees, right? So these kind of dead trees and branches, this is exactly what you want to avoid when you're putting together a composition for a photo. That's super distracting. If I take an image that way, the only thing I see is these dead branches here, and you kind of don't even look at all the green behind it. So I want to find spots where I don't have much of that going on. And I think here with the valley is really where I'm kind of looking at that. So let's stop talking, let's start shooting. All right, we shot our landscapes. We're gonna do some portraits here. They're laughing at me, so let's do this. All right, so when you're shooting portraits, I normally don't shoot midday, but if you are, it's very easy to bring a diffuser, and I'm gonna show you guys the difference here. So, Kayla is gonna model for us. You can see her skin is overexposed. It's very, very bright. We bring a little diffuser, it rolls up into kind of a circle, doesn't weigh a lot. We'll put that on, and you can see now the light is diffused. It looks very, very smooth. We don't have that sharpness on the skin. That's what we're trying to get rid of. Awesome job, thank you very much. Let's shoot some portraits. We are back. It's time to get some food. I'm hungry.
Is everyone done in the trunk? Yeah.
Yep. Alrighty, we are on our way to Tunnel Log. Almost fell. And on the way, there's a cool place here called Parker Group, which is huge sequoia trees kind of grouped up. I always make it a point to stop here. I have photos of my kid running through them, and it looks amazing. So, quick tip when you're visiting Sequoia, apart from the hiking, when you find these big trees, I mean, they're huge. Like, I need you guys to understand how big these are. But my favorite thing to do is to walk up to one and just look up, right? So I'm gonna try and do that with the camera here. I don't think it'll be the same appreciation, but they're so massive. I love this national park so much. I love the forest. All right. So we made it to Moro Rock for sunset. This trail gets pretty busy, so we decided to do this on Friday versus the weekend, since again it'll be busier. This trail is half a mile, so it's popular and, like I said, very busy. And right now it looks like a painting. Beautiful. Let's take a look. I covered this trail, talked trail details, parking lot stuff last year, so make sure you check out the Sequoia National Park playlist and click on Moro Rock Trail. Maybe I'll keep that in, I don't know. Good morning.
Woo!
We are on our way back to the park. Knocked out last night. Got some very needed coffee, and we're doing a few more hikes today. And we're doing some portrait shooting to start the day. Young's wearing nothing but a bra, so it'll be very interesting. I'm kidding. All right, we'll see you guys inside. We are starting Marble Falls, ready to burn off that pizza. Under 7 miles, about 1,600 feet elevation. I'll talk more about that in the trail details video. But should be a good one. Should be a good one. And it's basically our only hike for today because we're pretty tired. Let's get started. Do you hear it? Sounds real nice right down there. That's on video. Marble Falls Trail. Gorgeous, beautiful. It was so hot on the way up. And if you want to know more about the trail details, and some recommendations from my end, make sure you watch the trails video. It'll be linked in the description down below. We're pretty much done. That was about 7 miles, and we're gonna go eat and call it a day. Any last comments, thoughts?
It's time for food. Yes, hungry.
Food.
Hungry.
Shocker. All right. Welcome back to the channel, guys. This video is by far the longest vlog I've made, so I'm gonna try and keep this short, but I am gonna give you 3 really important tips. Hope you guys enjoyed the vlog, but these tips will make your travel at Sequoia and Kings Canyon National Park a whole lot better. So let's just jump into them. First tip, there's only one place on the mountain to get gas, and as of May 2021, it was closed. So if you're gonna go up the mountain, fill up in Three Rivers or wherever you are before you head into the park. Fill up. You do not want to be up the mountain thinking, oh my gosh, I don't have enough gas. There's not a lot of places up there. So before you go in, fill up that gas tank. You'll worry-free is the best way to travel. Second of all, get a map or download some maps offline. Service is super spotty on the mountain, and you don't want to be up there saying, it's really one road, but there are other roads that you can kind of take and find some cool spots. You don't want to miss that. So make sure that all trails download offline maps or take an actual map, whatever it is, When you hit the Three Rivers, get the pamphlets that tells you, hey, these are the trails, this is that. Do a little bit of research on that end. You'll enjoy your time as you're traveling through the park a whole of a lot more. And my last tip, I think the most important tip I'm gonna give you is before you go, call the ranger station. The reason I suggest you call the ranger station is because the weather is incredibly difficult to predict on the mountain. Summertime, wintertime, okay, I get it. But Three Rivers, I'll put the elevation details down below. You just go up the mountain. So the weather at Three Rivers is almost always very different to what you find near the top of Sequoia and Kings Canyon. Very, very different. I've been in situations where Three Rivers is like 75 degrees, it's snowing up the mountain. Now, that may not happen around summertime, but when you type in, you say, what kind of clothes should I bring? Let me Google map, Sequoia, is it taking you to Sequoia at 2,000 feet? Or is it taking you to Sequoia at 8,000 feet? The weather changes. The best thing to do is to call the ranger station and just ask them. They're there. They're walking around. I checked on weather.com. I did a few different ones when I went on this trip. Everything was telling me high 50s, low 60s. The entire trip was mid 70s. Marble Falls was probably mid 80s. Hope you guys liked the full vlog. Make sure you stay tuned. We got the next national park, which is Yosemite. So we got some videos on that coming real soon. I already said stay tuned, so make sure you stay tuned. Peace.